It is not okay to be afraid to walk out of your door. It is not okay to have a 6-year-old killed and nobody say anything. It is not okay for an 8-year-old to be shot and nobody say anything. That is not okay to live in fear. We as both adults and young people have to stand up and say no more, because it wasn't okay for George Floyd to be killed by the police, right? It wasn't okay. They murdered that man. Right. It wasn't okay. So the community stood up for that. But we also have to stand up for each other.
Can I jump in, Inspector?
Sure.
I agree with what you're saying. It's not okay. And please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. It is not okay for any child, any female or male, period, to be shot and killed. So I think we have to address everything. But there are victims that are so afraid to come forth. And think about that senior victim who has something done to her, who lives in a house by herself. And for her to be able to say that one of the neighbors did something to her, she's afraid to be in that house. So I got you. I don't condone the no snitching at all, but I think we need to look at everything as a whole. So yes, anybody being shot, those innocent children, someone needs to say something, but we also have to look at those victims who need protection after they come forth. Some people are scared to call the police because they don't even want that police car on their block. So it's just, I think it's a big picture, but I am against the no snitching totally, but I think we need to look at the whole picture and to be able to protect everyone.
We don't have to come on the block. We don't have to come to the house. We don't have to do any of those. So we realize as a police department, the no snitching culture. We understand that, and we understand that by showing up at people's homes, we are putting them in jeopardy. We understand that, and that's the last thing that we want to do.
It's rough to be the person to come out. In no manner is it okay to shoot or hurt somebody. There's no justification for that at all. It is also horrifying to imagine, well, if they find out, what are they going to do to me? If they did this to this little boy or to this little girl or to this man or to this woman, what are they going to do to me? But most of the time, it's not the snitching. It's not being called out. That's not what it is, because we can sticks and stones, you know? It's what's going to happen to me, my baby, my wife, my girlfriend, my family, what's going to happen to us. That's what scares people.
So again, do not condone no snitching, but what's going on in our communities is real, and how we seriously protect people who do come forth and say whoever.
So we are all human, and most of us take this job because we genuinely care about the community. There's bad in every profession, but we really have to start with the little kids. Like, parents will walk up to us and be like, oh, can you tell my kid that you're going to arrest them because they're bad? Like, we got to stop doing that. We got to be like, make the right decisions. We're not going to arrest you. Don't have kids afraid of us from the time they're little. But there's a lot of people that don't trust the police. And that's what, we do a lot of community policing in the 35th district and citywide. And we try to engage with the community. And, we do different functions. So they see we're here for you. And, we all need to work together, but we're here for you. And we don't want you to be afraid of us.
So I started as a police officer at 19 years old. I took this job because I wanted to make a difference, because I saw the way that the police, when I was young, treated my people. What better way to make a difference and to make sure that policing is done the right way among my people than by becoming a police officer myself. I grew up in Northwest. So I went to McCluskey, I went to Leeds, I went to Dobbins. I'm responsible for Northwest, so that's of the utmost importance to me. The public needs to hold the police department to a very high standard. It is important that we as a department are held to a certain standard by the public, and that when we come to work, we uphold the law, but first and foremost, we do it the right way. So there is nothing wrong with being held accountable to the citizens that we serve. Every cop does not come on this job to treat people badly. They don't come on the job to kill people. They don't come on the job to do those things. Now, does that happen? Absolutely. And when those things happen and when we have rogue cops, we are to be held responsible for them. And we have done our best to root those officers out. But these things will happen, just like there are bad doctors, bad plumbers, bad NFL players, bad basketball players. Some people are just rotten to the core. And when that happens, we have to root those people out, which we do. But until we get past every cop is a bad cop, I can't trust the police. I mean, we'll never move the conversation forward. We got to move beyond letting bad people get away with doing bad things.
All this hate and gun violence, all about is mental health to me. That's what I think. This whole thing is all mental. They think everybody's out to get them, so they want to get everybody first.
We need to understand where it's coming from, like where the hate, the fear comes from. You know what I mean? Like a big play in it is the media, not like rap, not just rapping and like the music. That is a big part of it, but also the news. Notice the words that they use in the news.
That's true.
Like when we first started protesting, riots, and a lot of them were violent, but some of them weren't. Most of them weren't, and they refer to them as riots. When you say the word riot, and I'm asking this as a question, when you say the word riot, what comes to your mind? Violence, dangerous, danger, get away. But when you say the word protest, what comes to mind?
Peace.
More peace.
Exactly. When you hear those words, it's the words that we use that shape the mind. You know what I mean? Like when you say somebody is a rioter, negative things come to your head. But when you say somebody is a protester, positive things go to your mind. It all has to do with the words that we say and the actions that we do. And a lot of things that people get confused is that it's not Black Lives Matter, like we're above all. It's Black Lives Matter too.
But then all your actions, everybody's action has consequences, good or bad, and you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Just make sure you understand the consequences of what you're doing and how it's going to affect the people of the community or affect you in the long run, because you never know. You never know who's watching, you never know who's talking to you, you never know nothing. And some people take it to heart, and whatever you say can lead them into a right or wrong path.
That was exactly what I was about to say. Like, I could not have said that better myself. Like, make sure you know what you are supporting. Make sure that you know.
A lot of police officers or even people above them don't always take into account that, hey, like this person need to be responsible for or accountable for their actions. And also, they know, like from a past experience, like Mr. Rich, my whole family, what, how they are when they was growing up. You watch them grow up or you grew up with them. A lot of people don't understand that it's not also like, hey, be afraid of the cops or, hey, leave the cops alone. It always been, don't trust the cops because they did this, this, and this, or the whole thing of, oh, this person is innocent, so, and the police locked them up or arrested him. Now he's locked up for 20 whatever plus years. And a lot of people think like, oh, don't trust the system. but in the similar, the thing that everyone have to understand is that, yeah, you know, there are always loopholes in every single thing. And with the loopholes being there, it should have just been like, hey, listen, even though this person happened or that happened, it's not going to necessarily happen to you. Because I hear a lot of people like, you know, that I grew up with, or just a lot of people older than me who will be like, man, forget the justice system, or forget this, don't trust these people, they're like this. And I experienced everything. Like, I lived in Harrisburg probably for like the last 5 to 6 years. And Mr. Rich, you know me, I pop up in Philly here and there, you know, see family. I might pop up to one of the events. But little thing that people know is, in my experience of living in Harrisburg and Philly, I experienced everything. Like in Harrisburg, you know, I had a car one time, and I just pulled over. A cop misidentified my car for another car, and they came up guns drawn. And also, I got in a little altercation, whatever, that led me to, you know, to have to be a suspect in something. And the cop that arrested me actually did not, you know, he was very respectful. He did everything a good cop does. So everyone always gonna look at the bad cop and be like, oh, all cops are bad. That's not true. In my case, like I was at work, instead of the cop coming in and doing all this extra stuff, he kindly had my job, pull me aside, and then proceeded with everything else. Seeing all the good things and seeing all the positive things, even if it's on the news, if it's on Facebook, or seeing it in person, I feel like a lot of people need to see that versus, you know, versus going on the news, going on social medias or whatever the case may be, and seeing everyone post bad things. At least post some more good things, because it allows people even younger than me to have some type of platform where they know they could do better than what it is.
Better call Tyrone.
And I will continue to fight for victims to be able to have their voice heard. But I do believe, and I don't know if this came out during the call, the captains and the victim assistance officers, they do great work in the Northwest section of Philadelphia. So they have those community meetings. And I think it's great. And it's a great way for the community members to be able to voice what's going on in their neighborhood and how they can feel safe. So kudos to all of the officers in the Northwest section of Philadelphia in the 5th, 14th, 35th, and 39th police districts. They are doing an awesome job.
We love you too, Melanie.
I was just saying, we've been going out door to door. I've been out with the councilwoman, just going door to door, getting it out there with the tip line, talking about, you know, if you see something, say something.
Me personally, talking about like what can we do about like the gun violence, like about what can we do to stop people from doing this. Me personally, I feel like people don't really need a gun if no one else has one. There's no need for civilians to have weapons, because that's like giving a toddler a bucket of sugar. They gonna eat it. And when you give us guns, we gonna shoot them.
Like, literally, there's other things. There's pepper spray. It's deadly enough. You're like, in the eye. My dad telling me to get a lollipop.
I try to be approachable. So even if somebody just hates me by the look of me, I always I'm approachable. If you have a question or you want to ask me something, even if it's not nice, I'm ready for it. Okay, let me have it, but just know that I'm out here and I'm trying to do the best job that I can do. And it's a passion for me too. This job is a passion for me, and what I do is a passion for me. So I don't know. I want to spread my love into the city.
For me, I am committed to advocating for all those victims and witnesses and community members in the Northwest section of Philadelphia, in Philadelphia, and throughout the Commonwealth of PA. I will serve until the day I die.
I'm committed to holding my officers accountable. I don't play when it comes to officer accountability to the community we serve. So I just want everybody to know that you should not be in fear of the police. We're not here to harm you. We're here to help. We're here to serve you. We're here to do a job and to make sure that it's done the right way. So if you are not happy about the service that you receive, you should not hesitate to let us know, because trust me, I find out about it one way or another. And none of the officers like talking to me when it's time to have to give answers.
So what I'm committed to is basically impacting people, not like whatever I ever did in my life, such as good or bad, I always let people know. Such as like me being in the military. One of my friends I actually met in college. He wanted to stop going to college. He's doing okay. Now tomorrow he's actually getting shipped off for basic training, so I'm pretty good on that. So I'm guessing my main thing of being commitment is trying to help people be successful. I'm not saying me personally, I don't think success is something that's like, hey, I made a lot of money throughout my years, I'm successful. I take success as doing something that you love and being happy that you do it.
One thing that I'm going to continue to do is do the BET Talks, because not a lot of people know, and not a lot of people realize that when people have other people to see that they're doing something positive, when other people see some people doing something positive, it impacts them whether they know it or not. And I assure you that at least one person that has watched this from the time that we started has committed a positive act that they wouldn't have done without watching this show. I'm here. I'm in it to win it on this show. I'm here to stay and to just spread the positivity, spread the love.
Oh, Brandon, that touched my heart. But like, I would expect I like to be a voice, even if sometimes I'll be lazy about it. But I always love to talk, give my intake or anything, or any type of advice they need, or on my friends, because a lot of my friends call me for anything, but I don't ask for nothing in return, unless it's food. But you know, is reassuring, because I feel like, oh, they really want advice me about something. And then I know I can sometimes always talk to them about some things that I'm going through, and they can reassure me like I reassured them. Inspire people to just tell you how you feel, but also in a respectful manner, and always in like a manner that it won't seem offensive. And that's what Mr. Rich teach me yesterday on the call. I was trying to ask questions, like think of questions, because we get prepared before. And then the question I had was like, it sounded offensive. So Mr. Rich told me how to approach it a different way with my questions. So that's what I would like to do too, even more sometimes. That like I have to think on it. Because you guys all have purposes.
Thank you for having me.
Later. Thank you for having me.
Everybody be safe.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
I thank you. I encourage you. I appreciate you. Mr. Richard Washington, please, sir, don't ever stop doing what you're doing. So thank you, sir. So excited to be a part of a now expanded network and look forward to seeing what you guys do in the future. And by all means, please keep me posted and looped into whatever is going on with the BET family.
Thank you.
Absolutely, my BET family. I love y'all.
Dare you to come on next week for God Matters. Dare you, or else.